So we're prepared for a Dhamma talk. And today I'm going to read from the Sutta Nikaya. This is in the Satipatthana Samyutta, Siddhaka Sutta. On one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling among the Sumbas, where there was a town of the Sumbas named Sedika. There the Blessed One addressed the bhikkhus thus. Bhikkhus, once in the past, an acrobat set up his bamboo pole and addressed his apprentice, Medakatalika, thus, come, dear Medakatalika, climb the bamboo pole and stand on my shoulders. Having replied, yes, teacher, the apprentice Medakatalika climbed up the bamboo pole and stood on the teacher's shoulders. The acrobat then said to the apprentice Medakatalika, you protect me, dear Medakatalika, and I'll protect you. Thus, guarded by one another, protected by one another, we'll display our skills, collect our fee, and get down safely from the bamboo pole. When this was said, the apprentice Medakatalika replied, that's not the way to do it, teacher. You protect yourself, teacher, and I'll protect myself. Thus, each self-guarded and self-protected will display our skills, collect our fee, and get down safely from the bamboo pole. That's the method there, the Blessed One said. It's just as the apprentice with the Katalika said to the teacher, I'll protect myself. Bhikkhus, thus should the establishments of mindfulness be practiced. I will protect others. Bhikkhus, thus should the establishment of mindfulness be practiced, protecting oneself, because one protects others. Protecting others, one protects oneself. And how is it, bhikkhus, that by protecting oneself, one protects others? By the pursuit, development, and cultivation of the four establishments of mindfulness. It's in such a way that by protecting oneself, one protects others. And how is it, bhikkhus, that by protecting others, one protects oneself? By patience, harmlessness, kindness, and sympathy. In such a way that by protecting others, one protects oneself. So, the acrobat, this is a picture with a couple of acrobats. You see there's the teacher, the master, and there's a little tot on top of the pole. So one thumb. But it seems this occasion the teacher was standing on top of the pole with the apprentice on his shoulders, so like this the one is safe. And that's the way it is when we are connected to other people. If you have children or loved ones and you want to look after them, that's that. How they're doing. In this coronavirus thing, you can feel that a lot of the time. It's not it's understandable. If your son or daughter is out there actually working in the medical system, treating hundreds of people every day, worry about them. Do them any good? Yeah, wishing it wasn't here. By practicing mindfulness. So mindfully one looks after oneself, one cares oneself when being sick, physically, but also by establishing a place, an establishment whereby you can feel those natural feelings, experience them, and not get caught in them. not just get tangled and overwhelmed and flooded by these emotions and concerns. And you're protecting yourself. If you like that, you might be calm, alert. It's not that you're denying anything. It's not that you're closing off. You're alert, but you're clear, and you're grounded. You know what you do and say will be skillful, measured, equanimous, and accessible. That is, people can hear it. If we're just getting excited, upset, people often switch it off. And how protecting others, one protects oneself by practicing patience, so that other people, whatever they're doing, don't get as angry, upset, frustrated, struggling. So then we manifest patience toward others. Maybe excited, confused, agitated, deeply sad, and just bear with it. So practicing non-violence, which means instead of retorts, which we can come up with, oh, shut up, and stop it. Particularly when people are unpleasant, tend to lash back. There's that retorting, and just stop that. So you don't let anger, hostility take over your heart. You practice kindness, bring forth the mind, because it's for your welfare. Whether anybody else receives it or not is eventually up to them. But to not be able to manifest kindness is a sad occasion. It's something one should see as the natural state of a healthy heart is kind. Because why shouldn't it be? If it's not kind, it's contracted or looking somewhere else. When we're tuned in to others, shouldn't we naturally, that be a natural manifestation of goodwill? Avoid no ill will, not aversive or dismissive or indifferent. And sympathy or empathy, you can take on somebody else's experience, someone else's experience. Oh yes, that's yes, I feel that, yes, that too. And we're not adjusting it or even moderating it or explaining it, certainly not telling someone to not have it, but just a sense of empathy or sympathy is you connect. You think, oh yes. And just that alone is a very helpful movement of mind, because once person feels they're listened to, that in itself, just listen to and sympathize with, that in itself has a really settling effect. It's just the nature of human beings. If we're on our own, we can get very much caught up in our own mental proliferations and emotional agitation and blaming and something wrong with me. And so we just, okay, like that. It's like someone putting your hand on your shoulder. Just, okay, thank you. I think I touched ground, as it were. This way, then, we were able to, in relating to other people, protect our own hearts from becoming irritable and dismissive, or angry and hostile, or dejected and miserable, or equally agitated, stressed out. And how do we do that? Is because you establish mindfulness of body, then that's the feature of it. It's always the first establishment, because with that, then you have something that's stable. It's not the mind. It's not the same as the mental qualities, but your awareness can cover the body. You can be aware of the entire body. And you can aware, say, that when you're emotionally agitated or experiencing strong feeling, which is the second foundation, then it's likely that the body gets a little heated, or sinks, saddened, feels weighed down, or we get powerful emotional reactions which make us tense in our stomachs, or tight in our chests, or flushed in the face. But when you have mindfulness of the body, you can recognize that, but you can also widen your aperture of awareness to include your back, your feet, the space around you. Well, that's not agitated, that's steady. And that piece is, and this isn't. Put the two together. By itself, the body and the awareness in the body together create a channel for powerful feeling to be felt, and yet the reactive effect of it to discharge. So the second foundation is feeling, which always to do with physical feeling, but the most powerful is mental feeling, because we can mentally feel things that we're not touching us at all. We can feel concerned about the future, the past, other people, things out there, what will be or should be, and we can get extremely oppressed and strong feelings, strong emotions and feelings, displeasure, and this emotional agitation that comes with it. So with mental feeling, it always connects to sanya, perception. And perception, sanya, is the experience where it gets into you and it triggers particular reactions. Sankhara, emotional behavioral reactions or responses. Not all unskillful by any means. Some are willing, want to help, want to get going. They have an impulsive nature. I suppose we all have a certain degree of impulsiveness. And it can be an impulse to do good, but it's not necessarily always that accurate to what really is good. So you get the blundering crashing in where it isn't really appropriate, or going too hard or too fast, or or taking on things that aren't really your concern. So you just get this impulse to do good. And of course, sometimes you get the impulse to just run away, or negative impulses such as counterattack or retort or dismiss. So this is where the perception triggers that sankhara. And this is to do with the third foundation of citta, which is really the pivoting point. This is the area where we go to samsara or to nibbana. It's the crossroads. You either go into the world of the tangle and more of that, and me and you, and this is where it should be, and I don't want this, or we can go to, this is a skillful quality, this is an unskillful quality, follow the skillful quality, when it's completed, it ceases. The moment when a skillful quality unfolds, done at work, and then releases. Unskillful quality also held properly, releases. So those are the two directions. And so this is really the pivotal point, the Satipatthana, where the third leads to the fourth. The fourth is to do with the Dhammas, or the qualities, which can either be of a negative nature, such as sense desire, ill will, restlessness, apathy, skeptical doubt, mental proliferation, skillful qualities such as mindfulness, investigation, calming, kindness, which are immovable, skillful qualities. And these are qualities that will arise if the citta doesn't go into reactive patterns. And if that power of sati at that place checks and that jump into that, then This is the leader of the enlightenment factors. The sati comes investigation. Wait a minute, is it that? Is it that? Surely, oh no, it's that. And if we could stop the reaction, immediate reaction, this pausing, heedfulness. And this is transformative, because at that point we're reacting to all the reasons in the world to react. It should be this way. I'm worried about them. Why does this happen to me? How dare he do this to me? It's all true in a way, but it goes to the me, you, samsara place. And if we're really seeking liberation, it's never going to be an occasion when somebody isn't, making you feel worried or unnecessary or a nuisance, or something's making you feel concerned or upset. It's always going to be happening. So, sure, there's no way to it. That's what samsara means. But Nibbana doesn't mean, oh, forget everybody else. It means we're not really dealing with people right in the chitta. We're dealing with the reaction here. Now, if I work on that reaction, then the qualities that come forth will be for my welfare and for her and his and their welfare. Naturally, if they choose. And some of these qualities are listed here. Patience. Okay, we can bear with it. We're not in a hurry. We're not, oh, he's doing that again. No, this is the first time. This is that sense of patience. This is good for you. It'll make you stronger. It's not just doing somebody else a favor. This protects your mind, your heart from the curse of short temper, reactivity, cutting corners, narrowness. So the mind is steady, honesty. Eyes. Watch what comes out of your mouth. What's the tone? What comes out of your heart? What's the tone? Blaming, contesting, trying to force your way. Get out. You just know. You do nothing to prevent violence happening, because it's always going to be a violent comeback sooner or later. It's interesting in this that fundamentally the Buddha is saying, well, these are aversive qualities that we first of all have to deal with. He's not talking about other people we immediately feel passion for. Most of the other people we tend to have to be patient with, which is quite a statement. Patient with ourselves, with our impulsiveness. And so, so just checking that aversive, meddling quality. Just check. Let things be for that microsecond, because quality in your mind, and these are not good. And the other person, we don't really know. You're responding or reacting to something you don't really know. So then, what would be good for them is to be more, offer support. That's what you need to do. Consider it wise and then. And sympathy, if I was in your shoes, So these are daily practices, life practices. And if you're now in a situation where perhaps you're not be moving around, so you perhaps have to be with 3 or 4 people you sharing a house with, children, old people, people of different ages, and so forth, or different energies. Some people are getting excited and restless. Okay, you practice patience, because that's what's good for you. And It's a kind of pilgrimage. It's life. I always look at it like that. But there are these testing places where you could just go off track completely, go into the world, or the pilgrimage could take you somewhere else. I remember I've done a few pilgrimages, but I did one in Tibet, and that was very striking. It was around Mount Kailash, which is, I don't know, 7,500, 8,000 meters up. So you can't hardly breathe. Well, you can try and breathe, but there's not much oxygen. So it's really quite a struggle getting along there. And at one point, you have to climb, I don't know, 1,000 meters or something. So before that, you get there, you go to a place, it's where it's called the Shiva, or sometimes called the Vajrayogini's burial ground. And the entire circuit is mapped out in spiritual geometry. So here, this place is the place of your birth, this place is the place of your growing up, and the Shiva is the place of your death. And after if you get through that, when you get through that, you go into the Bardo, which is the between life state, where you climb this mountain over this pass, and then you begin a new life again, when you come back, renewed. So the Shiva place is a place where you just let go of your life. I remember coming to this place, and then the proper procedure, process is this place you take something of yourself. Often people cut their hair, cut their fingernails, something, and they just give it away. But you give something of yourself away, belongings, and you give them away. You just give it up. And you generally share merit with people. And any forgiveness, anyone you forgive, ask forgiveness for, express gratitude. And to me, this is like the pivotal point of Chitta. This is the place of Chitta. That is, in the place of Chitta, right there are your people, your past, your histories, your personal psychology and attitudes, and it's also the place where we're aware of our death and mortality. And it frightens us by and large. It's the unknown. But we know that this will not continue. And right in that place. And that's the place, particularly with this particular disease going around, a lot of people touching that place where their norms, their order, their personal behaviors, their patterns, their routines are cut off. And maybe they're realizing people are dying. And perhaps the big concern, I will die. So right there, we are now all at that place. In a way that people don't recognize it, that's where we are. There's a place where people let go. Because we always were going to die. And your friend, mother, she was going to die, and maybe that's going to happen. It can't not happen. So what do you do at that place? Deny it, get agitated, feel guilty, you should have done something, or just bless. Constantly bless. And we let go of some piece of ourself, which could be our friendships or our and it's very freeing, actually, because it's not you don't throw away anger. It's a sense of this was given to me. I was given this, I was given these sense organs. I was given the opportunity to hear teachings. Where did that come from? I was given this. I was allowed, my heart was allowed to use this, to learn from it, and then one day I'm going to have to let it go. Okay, so it's not mine, never was. It was always a gift, right? And so what do? You give, don't you? You're to be part of that process rather than hang on to it. You give. You have to give away. And to me, this has always been sort of seminal, crucial. Because I was fortunate enough to be given Dhamma, teaching, training, and support. Physical support, material support, but also, a lot of people are given me trust in their faith. And that is something that I take lightly. And it always encourages me to live with integrity and to live with compassion and concern, and to develop skills and study and practice so that it's something worth giving. So people like yourselves have in your own ways given me an incentive and encouragement to develop integrity. But not be so, also not be self-obsessed and or just narrow-minded or caught up on my own little life, but to try to live life in a way that is responding to situations that human beings experience, and responding in a way that I hope I try to align to teaching of the Buddha. So, so then, having been given the gift of this life and these terms, mindfulness, faith, confidence, energy, aspiration, they're not that mysterious. With mindfulness, we bear those in mind. Mindfulness is not just the point of focusing the attention on a particular sensation, it's bearing in mind the meanings of the teachings. You bear them in mind and you take the responsibility to be a vehicle for that. Which means you purify in your sila, and you also make an effort to purify your mind with your body with samadhi, so it's a steady body, and your mind's purifying the mind with samadhi and metta, so it's a clear, steady, good mind. And then you have something to offer. So in this way, we're establishing mindfulness of the citta, mindfulness of the precarious nature of citta, using the body to hold it, to bear it, to stabilize it. And then with these teachings, that particular turn that occurs when we let go of negative patterns, self-obsession. And what reminds us to do that is the dilemma, whatever the dilemma is. And death is a big dilemma, of course. Separation from love is a big dilemma. Being with situations and people that you find very difficult, that's another one. So these are, and then it's getting in the way. I've got to get past this. It's getting in the way of my look. The teaching is what's in the way is the way. What's in the way is the way. Because what's in the way is you've got to stop now. You've got to stop and you've got to look at this differently. Yeah? And you think you can't. I can't think. I don't know why should I think about this and shouldn't stop. And you keep it. Releases that grip of resistance and agitation. In this way, life, mindfulness protects you from going the samsaric way. And then we have the capacity to relate to others in a way that is, offers them the opportunity to grow and to learn what they have to learn. So you can't tell anybody else what they should learn. You can, but that doesn't go very deep. What goes deep is when they meet and you're not going the normal way, then they can see their own struggle more clearly. If you model those virtues, then heart to heart, people get it, definitely. So now is an occasion, and so I'll close there for today. I'm never quite sure how long this is going to go on for, but I think that's enough. So it's really wonderful to have had this occasion arranged. So just on a kind of spur of the moment, got beta and then trying to figure out how to use this Zoom thing. So big animal dinner, and just and then if you go to the gallery view, you might be able to see how many other people have got. I think it's over 100 people are joining in. Some people couldn't get in because they couldn't quite get the technology done. So I think it would probably be recorded and sent out to other people who would like to hear it. And hopefully we can do it again. So take care. Be well.